Hello again, friends, and welcome to another fine edition of 151. My name is Adam, and I am joined by a man who uses a rusty batleth as a razor. Friends, his name is Justin.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hey, Justin, how are you?
I'm wonderful.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm safely ensconced in the lower bowels of the compound, hiding out from the COVID, the Corona, the Rona, the what did I hear the other day?
My Sharona.
This bullshit.
That's good.
And by God, if the Ruskies come for me, I'm ready. Wolverines!
There you go. We are 151. We're sponsored by Skeleton Wine. You can find out more about them at their website, skeletonwine.com, or on their Facebook page at Skeleton Vineyards. As for us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and sometimes Tumblr, although no one's used the Tumblr in years at this point. All those handles are at 151 The Show, and we hope that you subscribe, like, rate us, and share us all on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, and every other channel we're a part of. Did I get everything there?
I think you got them all.
I always mess up, and I'm always like, I'm not going to put the Tumblr one in there because it doesn't matter anymore. And then somehow it always slips in.
Yes.
Like I get on a roll, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh, hey. So anyways, this is 151. If you miss any of that stuff, head to 151theshow.com. And you can also check us out at thisstationswebsite.com. So tonight.
At least you didn't throw out there that you can find us on Tinder or Grindr.
You know what? I think we make that joke every time.
Now I feel terrible.
Yeah, it's okay. It happens to the best of us. It does.
Cheer. Okay.
Deep sigh. All right, so tonight on the show, as we, Justin and I both are broadcasting from different, locations, Studio North and Studio, what are we calling yours, West?
Studio West.
Yep, he's got a ceiling fan in his place now, apparently.
It's fancy. I wired it myself, so we can expect it to fall down and clunk me at any moment.
Is that why the light literally just flashed right when you said that?
No. I did a good job. Leave me alone,
It did it again.
It must be the camera reacting to the
Yeah,
LEDs.
it's got to be.
Know.
It's always the camera's fault.
It's the camera's fault. It adds 80 pounds. I swallowed 3 cameras. What do you want from me?
Anyways, tonight on the show, we're going to go down a couple different roads. Star Trek announced that they're going to have a new show. We're going to get into that here in a little bit. And there's something that we kind of brought up on our last show where Tony Conrad was on. We made a couple jokes about it, but we never kind of dove right into it. A couple of our buddies, Seth Olney and his brother Jesse, they were they do the Calhoun County Paranormal Investigators. They did Squatch, Iowa, which I was in. Believe it or not, Justin was not.
I loved your work. I was not. I'm still offended. I could have easily introduced something.
Yes, you could have.
I could have.
You could be in the background. Oh, bullshit. That's not Bigfoot.
Right.
Anyways, the reason we bring this up,
they could have cut from the haunting over to the 151 The Show going, how high were you?
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, Seth and Jesse, a couple friends of mine, both really good dudes. Seth, we talked about, just moved out to New York, has the little kid now. Jesse has a great YouTube channel that you should go check out, which we'll have some links on the page. But something was brought up. They got a chance to be a part of a TV series on Travel Channel, right?
Yes. These woods are haunted.
These woods are haunted. Yeah, I remember last time we were both like, it was a ghost one of some sort. The reason we're bringing it up, and listen, they would never bring this sort of thing up. I think Jesse did a like Q&A after the show. But there was something that I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this, because it just kind of boggles my mind why people go on these shows, because you take Seth and Jesse, who had a great story about a possible Bigfoot in Iowa that they chased through the hills up in it was northeastern Iowa, right?
Yeah, is that by deep in the heart of the mountains of
Yes.
Waterloo?
Yeah, that's right. It was over by Waterloo. It's a great story. I mean, you don't hear the Bigfoot story like that ever so often here in Iowa, right?
No, no, you get, oh, we saw something, we saw tracks. This is, and again, I haven't talked to anybody, everybody in that field or everybody that's got that story, but never before have I heard a, hey, we chased mother effing Bigfoot through the hills.
You didn't know whether or not to put the mother effing in there, did you?
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know whether I was going to make you bleep it or not.
So,
And I didn't want you to spit Diet Coke out.
oh, little chance of that. To more or less cut to the chase, the reason we're bringing this up is I don't understand reality TV. And when I say reality, I mean these ghost shows and all this because Seth and Jesse, they're not the only.
Unreality.
Yeah, okay. They're not the only ones that I've seen have dealt with that. I know a few people around the state that have been a part of these shows, and it seems like every time someone goes on a show like this, the story that is already great gets completely changed into something else.
Right. I think that story stands on its own. I don't think that story needs to be enhanced.
Yeah. So for those of you who didn't see, what was it called again?
These woods are haunted.
These Woods Are Haunted. For those of you that didn't see it, they put Seth and Jesse in there, which they were going for beers or something, which neither one of them drink, which is just funny. They set it at Iowa.
Get the flashlights and the beers.
Yeah. They gave him these old 1970s flashlights, which was funny. But they told the story, and I've heard the story before where we found something in the woods and we chased it through this. I want to say it was a racetrack, right?
Yeah, it was by the Greyhound Park, not in the middle of the what looks like the Appalachian National Forest as they showed on the TV. But
So they chase this thing through, get some great evidence, and kind of go from there, right? When the story
right.
makes its way to These Woods Are Haunted, it gets changed into where they essentially make Seth and Jesse out to be kind of, I don't know what the proper term is, but douchebags.
And more than suspiciously Canadian.
Yes, more. I mean, maybe that's all it there. But anyways, they completely change the story to where they go into these woods and they end up getting chased by a creature that the story doesn't match what they tell.
Right.
It's not even close, and that's what started making me think about this stuff. And when I do interviews on the radio station, I talk to some of these guys. This is why I asked this question: how real is your show? Like
Right.
how much do you take of the story and just go, you know what, we're going to put our own spin on it? Because at that point, why did you even want Seth or Jesse to be a part of it? You know. Another guy that I know, that is a caretaker of one of the haunted places here in Iowa, he called them in for their help because he couldn't handle it. And it's like, no, you guys called me to be that you wanted a place to come investigate.
Right.
I don't get that.
I suppose some of it's dramatic license. I suppose that some of it is, I'm sure for that reenactment,
Yeah.
that somebody had a basic like rundown of the story, and that got handed over to a script writer,
Yeah.
and he wrote script and dialogue and whatnot, and thought, well, I'm going to change this and I'm going to punch this up, and this will be good, la di da di da, without ever having seen or heard the interviews that they did, and obviously didn't go by the same token to the people producing it, oh, we got out of we took the van down, and
Yeah.
up pulls a Subaru.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go get a car,
Yeah. That's
get it literally matching to the one that, and I know that's a minor detail compared to actually just retelling and changing the story, but still.
It just drives me nuts when I see some of that stuff because I'll watch these and it kind of ruins it for me because you start to think about, okay, is this really the story that these people are telling? And
Right.
you know, God bless Seth and Jesse. They'd never talk bad about any of this.
No, they've been incredibly kind, probably knowing that their a-hole buddies on 151 would do a show like this. But
And what's bad is I kind of feel bad because I didn't tell them I was going to be talking about this. But I mean, to me, it's one of those things. It's like, why would if I'm in that world, why would I ever want to go on one of those shows? Because I know that they're going to change it. And I'll tell you this, for the radio station a few weeks ago, I did an interview with Jason Haas. He's the dude that was part of Ghost Hunters. You remember Sci-Fi when that
yeah,
show was huge? I mean, he's one of the big names in the world of ghost hunting. And I flat out asked him, I go, how real is your show?
right.
And he goes, listen, the how did he explain it? He basically said that he goes, there's not a third party producer that's a part of this. It's us working directly with the production house, the guys that we know to
Right.
edit this and do this and put these stories together. And you know what? I mean, there's been stuff about Ghost Hunters and why it's fake and some of the proof and all that, but that kind of made me feel better in a weird way.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, not everything happens after a commercial break.
No, no. And you know what? I mean, with a lot of this stuff, whether, you're investigating UFOs, ghosts, or Bigfoot, 90% of the night, if not more of that, is you sitting in the dark by yourself. The most
Right.
activity you get is setting up and tearing down.
It actually I read an article the other day, and it was a small town mayor who had talked about some of the COVID response and whatnot.
Okay.
And he said, this is the first time I've ever felt that, and this was media,
Yeah.
but that the whole thing about telling the story in the editing bay had been proven to him, because he's like, I gave an interview, and when I rewatched the interview that you showed, that's not what I said. I mean, yeah, you showed parts of what I said,
Yeah.
but that's not what I said. And I still have to think that at the end of the day, storytelling by editing is a lot of this.
It is. It is. And, truth be told, as someone that works with a lot of audio in the world of, radio, I mean, I could legitimately take this conversation and make you sound however I wanted.
Yeah, like you don't already.
Well, I make you sound better.
Oh.
Cut out the ums and the uhs and the spaces and all that. For those of you that are listening on the podcast version of this, he flipped me off. But anyways,
Double barrels.
I mean, it not all media is bad.
Oh no. I would never say that.
I've had this argument with a couple people, and it's like there's legitimately a lot of media sources out there that are just trying to tell the story. There are media sources out there that are trying to get ratings and tell a better or tell their story. That's when
tell their story.
That's what it gets bad, is when people take a story and instead of trying to tell the story, they try and tell their story.
Right.
So, anyways, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I felt great for them, and pride in my buddies that got to be on TV. Right.
Oh no, look, absolutely. I have never, and I did a piss poor job, and I don't think anybody really watched. I live commented that thing on Facebook Live, and spent like an hour out of my night to go do it. And I know it's an hour out of my night, big deal, but I was so excited for them that in some small way I wanted to be a part of it and celebrate it with them.
Yeah.
And I did the Facebook Live thing and commented, as we went along here. So, I mean, hell yes. I'm still, I wish it told their story, their story. But I'm still super, super happy for them.
Yeah. This is 151 The Show. You can find out more about us at 151theshow.com or the station's website.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at 151 The Show. We hope that you subscribe on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, and all the other channels. One last thing before we get into Star Trek. Have you been watching at all that the Legend of Skinwalker Ranch or something like that? It's on History Channel.
I have not. When I saw you posting about it the other night, and I actually thought you said I'm getting ready to get into Skywalker Ranch,
Yeah.
and I thought maybe it was something on Disney Plus that I missed. So I'm going through on Disney Plus, and I'm like, there, what is it, a documentary? What the hell is it? And then I go back and look, and I'm like, that's probably definitely not going to be on Disney Plus.
Oh God, is it funny? And what's bad about it is like with the conversation we just had about what is the actual story compared to what's actually going on there.
Right.
If you ever get into anything paranormal and you want to read about just a place that's goofy and weird and just nobody really knows what's going on, it's a place out in I want to say Utah, but it's called Skinwalker Ranch, and just years and years worth of stories and weird happening at this place.
Isn't that like partially adjacent to like Area 51 though? I mean,
No,
oh,
it's a ways away from there.
okay. I had it in my head. It was either like Roswell adjacent or Area
No,
51 adjacent or something.
no, it's up in I want to say it's Utah, but it's just weird. Like the stories that
Okay.
happen there's some Native American stories that about the land being cursed. There's talk about where they tested the nuclear weapons back in the day, that some of the
Okay.
fallout may have landed there. There's UFO stories and extra dimensional stories and ghost stories and just weird stuff. But the only reason I really watch is the security guard of the place. I don't know what his real name is, but his nickname is Dragon.
Yeah, you got drug out on me there for a second. I think we
Okay.
had a little technical difficulty.
It was like I was making a point here and you just were like staring at me.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, watch for Dragon. He's like the head of security and he is just hilarious. One, for a guy that carries around an AR-15 with him, like at one
Right.
point he's like, "Yeah, it's my job to be responsible for everybody's safety," and then they go on this hike into the woods, and he left his gun in the truck.
Oh, jeez.
It's like, come on, dude. And then there's an episode or two ago that it's legitimately scientists and specialists and stuff talking about this, and then dragons at the table, right? And the
Right.
big thing about this place is you can't dig. When you dig, weird stuff happens, and they've got their proof and all that. But they go into talking about getting core samples, and Dragon's like, no, you can't dig, blah 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 blah. And the one guy looks over at the like ground penetrating radar, especially. He goes, well, what's your opinion of this? And he starts to talk, and Dragon interrupts. He's like, what? Just because I don't have a PhD, my opinion doesn't matter? It's like, no, you're the mall cop.
Right.
But no, give it a watch. It's kind of interesting.
Meanwhile, they take a core sample to go right down through a major fiber optic line.
Yeah, really, right? They're talking about, hey, we can't dig, right?
Right.
And everywhere you look, there's like telephone poles and stuff, and it's like, well, how the hell did they put those in? Anyways, like I said, this is 151 The Show. You can find us on 151theshow.com or the station's website.com. We're going to jump over to the world of Star Trek. Again, real quick, to Seth and Jesse. I don't mean any disrespect by what we talked about. I wanted to see your guys' story and not the story that someone else wanted to tell.
Seth, Jesse, if you were offended, good. Ha!
All right, so we jump over.
That's what they expect from me. Let's face it.
Well, you're the
what I do.
how much were you smoking guy? So
Right. This is basically our entire relationship is just being me antagonizing.
yes,
Seth especially. Just for fun because I know he'll laugh at it.
yes, he will. Anyways, and yes, thank you, Seth, for the B Squatch shirt, and Justin for pointing out that I look like what's his name?
Yeah, Randy Quaid. Yes. Very, very, very much so. And not Christmas Vacation Randy Quaid. After he went bat crazy, Randy Quaid.
Let me get close.
And I have to tell you that not only do I have the B Squatch shirt on order.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, I have one coming for the wife too. Oh no, we both got them, man. Oh, they are on their way. I can't wait. Next shirt of the show, I'm planning on wearing the full bee squatch. Oh, hell yes.
I should order one.
You should.
Oh, I don't know.
You absolutely should. Look, I ain't yet. If they make Squatch Iowa 2 Electric Boogaloo and I do get included this time, any camera time, I'm going to be rocking the B Squatch shirt. That my friend is a promise.
Yes, we'll put a link to that, or you can find it on the Facebook page and stuff. Yeah, help Seth and what's his thing? Create 99 or Creative 99.
99, I think. Yeah.
We don't even know.
I don't know. The offer. Well, I'm just bad with specifics. The offer has been made, by the way, to market and release 151 the show shirts through his shop. So that is on the table.
Do you want to?
Just saying. I think we have to. I think we should.
Just send him a logo and be like, "Don't f it up. Just put it up as is."
No, because next I listen to these two dickheads at 151 the show. That's the shirt.
Or it's like the 151 logo, but with a penis drawn on it, like a really one.
Mornings with dickhead and ass face on 151.
Oh, and here I am trying to find a stupid thing so I can give the right information.
And here we are just giving him more ammunition.
Oh, 99 design, is that it? I don't know what's going on. Anyways, Star Trek. So
fix it in post.
No. They've got a whole bunch of cool stuff up there. Go check it out.
99 design.
I know it's been like 15 minutes since we said we were going to talk about Star Trek, but we're actually going to do that now. Star Trek put out a video earlier this week, and it had a whole bunch of the stars from the Enterprise crew on Discovery announcing that
Anson Mount, Ethan Peck, and Rebecca Romaine.
Yes, that we are going to have a brand new Star Trek show that Justin prophesized mere weeks ago. Maybe a year ago or something. I don't know.
Oh God, it was I think it was right after like three seasons into or 3 episodes into season 2 of Discovery. I'm like, man, Chris Pike on that Enterprise. I'll watch that. Give me that show, CBS. Well, look what happened.
Here we are.
Strange
New Worlds officially announced for the Star Trek world. So that'll put us at, God, how many shows do they have now? Just on CBS. So they'll have Discovery, they'll have Picard, they'll have Strange New Worlds, and then we're still hearing about that Section 31 show.
The Section 31 Giorgio show, plus they just released character art and stuff for Lower Decks.
Yeah.
The animated one, where it's the lower level people, kind of like that episode of Next Generation, the 10 Forward episode, where it's all like lieutenants and ensigns.
Hey, going back to the Giorgio thing and the Section 31, between that and this shorts, are you excited at all for those Star Treks?
Yes, no, I think the gal who plays Giorgio is an incredibly talented actress. I mean, I'm going to tune in for the first couple episodes just to see how they do and what direction they go. But I mean, I don't know that Section 31 is all that captivating. Again, knowing, how things turn out. I mean,
so here's my take on it. Like, do I want to see what's his name? What's the Captain Pike?
Anson Mount.
So I'm not. It's not that I'm not excited about that kind of series, but between Discovery, that series, and now possibly a Section 31 series in that area, it's like, can we get a different time frame? I mean, that's what I like so much about Picard. I didn't like how Picard ended, but I like that we saw a different, something we haven't seen before, story that we haven't, kind of heard, and, so on and so forth.
Well, and if you take the long game, I mean, what they're doing with Discovery is in some ways kind of clever, because if you take the long game on that, we started out here, pre Kirk Spock, and now we've gone 1,000 years into the future. Spoiler alert for season 3. Technically, we have gone boldly where nobody has gone before, because we're technically bookending everything that we've seen.
Yeah, and like
from
I
both
said, it's
ends.
not that I don't want to see a Captain Pike series, especially with that Enterprise and that time frame, because that's what they suffered from in the TOS was
Right.
budgets and technology just wasn't there to show this, and now you can really show it. Nowadays, you can really do a Star Trek show to where even when you like Deep Space Nine, the later seasons, when you started getting more technology into it, and then
Hmm.
Voyager and Enterprise, you started seeing what kind of world that they could really build with this stuff.
Right.
And
Now, the one thing that I would like to see is with the enhanced graphics, I would like to see them go just as bat crazy as they did from like 66 to 69. I want to see, Abraham Lincoln, and I want to see the big green glowing hand.
yeah,
I do want to see those kind of, like, I don't want it to be as cerebral. I really want it to be out there, like original series
yeah,
out there.
yeah. I guess they'll have to have some social commentary in there to really make it work,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. And you can't step on. At this point, they're like 10 years ahead of where Kirk is.
Right. Right.
And the only bad thing about it is we know how Pike's story ends.
We do. We do.
So that was the other thing about it. It's like, okay, cool, but we kind of know how this story ends.
But that's not for, several years now. I guess, they say it's 10 years. You've got you've got a perfect finale episode. You pay Chris Pine just a stupid amount of money to come in, and at the end of it, relieve him from command, and boom, there's your finale. You've got that.
You know what? I don't know if they'd bring in Pine for it.
Supposedly they've already got some kid already figured out. The kid that was in The Mandalorian this year, season 1, that hired him to go out in the desert.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They've got him hired to play a young Jim Kirk, like lieutenant on the Farragut kind of.
Okay.
Here's the only problem with that. I'm gonna get nerdy for a minute. Jim Kirk
Really?
took command of the Enterprise. Yeah, Jim Kirk took command of the Enterprise at 28 years old. He was the youngest captain. I don't know. Maybe he was 30, and Riker was on track to take captain by 28 and beat Kirk's record.
Well, when did
But it's
Picard
very,
take
very
command?
young. Huh?
When did Picard take command? Because he was command of the Stargazer for like 2 or 3 decades or something, wasn't he?
I think he was like 20 years or something like that. But he was in his early 60s, I think, by the time that it's all screwed up now, because the timeline is that he's 90 something in okay.
No.
So if he's not,
No, he's dead.
So he was 93 when he died. And if you go back 30 years, or 35 years or whatever to when he took command, 32 years when he took command. So he would have been in his early 60s when he took command of the Enterprise. So backtrack 20 years. He was in his late 30s, early 40s when he took command of the Stargaze.
Real quick, going over to the world of Picard, because we haven't dove into it in depth, because we haven't, had like a show that's just dedicated to that. Was it you that sent me the quote from Q?
Yes.
And ever since you sent me, when that was the one thing I didn't want to happen, was them to throw him in a robot body, because I thought it was just dumb. But then you sent me that,
and I ruined it for you, didn't I?
And I don't know what I want to do anymore. I don't know if I want to hate it. I don't know if I want to love it. I don't know. But with Whoopi Goldberg coming back to be Guinan, and there's going to be the talk of whether or not he really is Picard or not, and Deanna Troi.
And there will be effects from the fact that he has an android body. And for those of you who didn't get that quote from me, it basically is from Encounter at Farpoint. It was from
it was Encounter at Farpoint.
I would say it was either the first episode or the last episode.
No. It's all good things. It is all good things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
When that courtroom scene, when they revisit that, and he says basically, "Hey, here's your test. Your test is right now over, but the test never goes away completely, and we're not judging you based on how you treat everybody else. Space is not the exploration that we're talking about. It's the human condition.
Yeah.
That you have to explore, and basically knowing now that we're going to explore his condition of being the first human consciousness transferred. He's dead. into an android body, and the exploration of that, it makes perfect sense, and it's a perfect retcon. And oh gee, aren't we clever? This happened to work.
Yeah.
And I just pissed all over his Cheerios when I sent him that. Like, he was actually upset with me for like 2 days.
That was the only thing I was upset about in that, because I thought that was just the easy way out.
No, it's completely the easy way out, but the only way it could be. The thing is, though, it built stakes. It built dramatic stakes. Oh, Picard's, might die from this. Da 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 da. We knew it was going to get a season 2 already.
Yeah.
By the time there was no stakes.
I just thought that the Ironic syndrome that he had, I thought that storyline would be like progressive and be,
right.
Because here's, how I wanted the series to end. I wanted it to go like 4 seasons, right? And the Ironic syndrome, it finally, acts up, and then at the end, it's kind of like, you remember the Harry Potter, the last one, or when they're talking about the 3 brothers, the story,
right?
And at the end, he met Death as a friend.
Right.
I was hoping Picard would die, and he would be met by Q, and Q would be like, "Hey, it's time to go."
They did that episode though,
but I want him to do it for real, and to meet him as an equal.
Right, and also look over and see the other 2 versions of him talking to the younger version.
Yeah.
That'd been pretty sweet.
So, anyways, I don't know. But going back to Strange New Worlds, I think it'll be interesting. I want to see more of that Enterprise. That's the best thing Discovery did, I thought.
Yeah.
The way they took, because the Abrams Enterprise, I don't like it.
I hate it.
I didn't like when they showed the bridge, right, of the Abrams Enterprise. I didn't feel like I was looking at a Star Trek bridge.
And for me, what really disconnects is the engineering system section looking like a brewery.
Yeah,
because it is.
But when you walked onto the bridge of that, the Enterprise and Discovery, it was like, okay, this is the Enterprise.
Right.
This is it. This is a modern version of something we all know and love, and I thought that was great. I thought they did a great job with it. So, I don't know.
And I thought they did a great job with a minor redress of making it work for the new 200, not very copy paste, not very well rendered ships in Picard. But Will Riker on that bridge, he pulled it off, man. That was a redress of the Discovery set.
What was the Riker thing you sent me where he's sitting on the bridge? He's like, f around and find out, or something like that.
Right. Pretty much. There were so many good ones. There were so many good ones right there, and the whole factor fiction thing that he did. There were a whole bunch of him sitting in that chair like this. When was the last time you saw a Romulan? When was the last time you took your ship? It was great.
All right. So,
and if you get the chance to watch the video of him slowed down 50%, where he sounds like a drunk. When was the last time you had a plumber at your house?
Somebody did that?
It sounds like he's drunk, and it's like he retweeted it. It is phenomenal. You watch it. The first time is funny. The second time you'll be laughing. The third time you'll be crying. It gets better with every rewatch.
All right, I'll do that. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to. I mean, Picard will get interesting. I hope they have Worf on there. I hope, which apparently he is the captain of the Enterprise now.
It works.
From the book that they put out. The companion book. Yeah, I've got no problem with that. Geordi's alive, apparently. Kind of interested to see what happened to old Crusher.
Junior or senior?
Senior. Nobody cares about Wesley. Let's be perfectly honest here. Not one person in leading up to Picard went, boy, I hope they show what happened to Wesley Crusher.
Have you seen the clip out there where it's like the abbreviated version of the title? They cut to the Admiral going, "Shut the fuck up, Picard," and the look on his face, and credits, directed by Will Wheaton, written by Will Wheaton, produced by Will Wheaton.
Oh, but But I mean, really, of all the people that you thought, like, hey, God, I wonder what happened to this person, or God, I wonder what happened to this
Right.
person.
I mean,
Wesley was.
he was in Insurrection and they cut him, or Nemesis, the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
one,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, Strange New World. Going back to what the point of all this was. Strange New Worlds could be interesting. It'll be interesting. I
It'll be
just,
good.
I want a different time period.
Right.
I want something that's either, you know, hell, at this point, I mean, if you're gonna go back in time, show us when the second Enterprise or NCC 1701 was constructed, and
Right.
have an older admiral or President Archer there, because he was there for it.
Right. You'd be looking for the first captain of the Enterprise, Captain Robert April,
Yeah,
and one of the founders of quote unquote the Starship program, which was the evolution then from the NX series into
yeah.
an actual the first 12 Constitution class
Well, I just remember
long range heavy cruisers.
I read at some point that Archer was at the launching of the Enterprise, and then he died the next day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they did set that up that they stole his dog. So I mean, they've already
Yeah,
got
something like.
that overlap done.
Anyways, that and what was it? But just give me a different time period, something other than uh, original series or the Picard era, TNG and all that.
I really want to see.
How about this? Do you watch Clone Wars on Disney Plus at all?
I need to get caught up. I'm behind. I'm
Um,
like 2 seasons behind.
I kind of pick and choose where I jump in on that.
Right.
The last season where it's kind of a companion to Revenge of the Sith. Give me something
Right.
like that. Give me something really good with the Dominion War, like a different
Well,
front of it, or
and that's the thing. I would like to see how Bajor shook out from all that. I would have really liked to have seen a next generation movie about the Enterprise, what it was doing during the Dominion War. I really,
yeah,
really would have liked to have seen that.
it's kind of interesting reads. I know they did some books about it, but I know that's
Right.
not canon. Give me, the era of the Enterprise B or C. Give me some stories in there. The round out one with the Kittimer Accords.
Unfortunately, to a certain extent, we almost got a Sulu show,
Yeah,
and we really should have. And now everybody's aged out; they're too old. Without complete recast, which obviously doesn't bother anybody. But by the same token, right now we do have a lot of retread, obviously. It. I will say the one thing about like the Giorgio and the 31 to bring it back is that does have the possibility of being unexplored territory.
it does, but I don't find, like, I like her, but I don't find her interesting enough to be
Yeah, she's not
a whole
she's
show.
not compelling. She's not compelling to you.
Like
I get it.
if you did a three, like a 3 episode miniseries or something, like hour and a
Right.
half episodes, I'm cool with something like that. But a whole show dedicated to just that, it doesn't do anything for me.
Right, and sort of because they've based it on one character, and Star Trek's never been good based on one character. It's always been that
Yeah.
ensemble.
Going back to people aging out and stuff. Uh, just a stupid side story. So I was off from work last week, right?
Right.
Right before I was getting ready to go off work, and it would have been for the Monday I was off. Guess who I got they send out prep service stuff with interviews you can sign up for.
Right.
Guess who the interview I could have done on Monday was, but I couldn't because of no work.
Patrick Stewart.
No, if it was Patrick Stewart, I would have done it.
Right. I was gonna say, hopefully that wouldn't have actually stopped you.
It was Chekhov,
Oh, nice.
and I was like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" Well,
What's he
Walter,
do? What's Walter Koenig? What's
yeah,
he doing to raid an interview?
he has a book or something. I want to say I've got the email somewhere, but
It's probably a good thing you didn't though, because I mean, let's face it. If at some point you didn't, hey, Just from my buddy Justin. Can you say nuclear vessels? It's kind of a rock and a hard place because if you do it, you're going to piss him off. If you don't do it, you've betrayed me and our friendship. So
I'm completely fine with pissing him off to save you. I've got no problem with that. Patrick Stewart, on the other hand, I would bury you in a shallow grave.
For over 10 years, I've told Adam that the minute that like he gets me a personal message from Patrick Stewart, the friendship is over. I've just been using him the entire time.
Oh, the things I would do to you if Patrick Stewart asked me to.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yes. Why don't you go and murder his family? Yes, sir.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Yeah. I don't care if you are a weird robot now.
I'll make it show.
And do it with no pants on. Rip.
What else is new?
Just covered in blood. Oh, the things I would do for Patrick Stewart. Patrick, just so you know, I'm here for you.
I'm sure he feels. I'm sure he's an avid watcher.
He just. What if he was? I mean, you think about that sometimes, and I mean, with the world of the internet, you never know when something's gonna. I mean, we had James Gunn replied back to a message on the thing.
Enough.
You know, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, who knows?
Yeah, you know, you're 100% right. I always wonder, to a certain extent, if at some point the William Shatner fart story has ever made it back to him. If anybody's ever come across that and played that.
And that's where we're gonna end this tonight. Oh God.
So, I'm sorry, Bill and Sir Patrick. I would never do that to you.
No, I wouldn't.
You're a sir, goddammit. I would never do that.
Can you imagine if Patrick Stewart ordered the death of William Shatner and you had to be the man? I have a feeling.
Sorry, Bill.
I have a feeling for being 100-year-old man, Bill Shatner might be a son of a bitch to fight.
I guarantee I get one of them double-handed fists to the gorns.
Like, don't you think about that? You look at certain people and think, man, that would be like there's easy ones out there that it's like Brock Lesnar. The guy would throw you through a brick wall and then mash you to pieces.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
But going back to Adam Sandler on Happy Gilmore when he fights Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. Oh yeah.
I just have a feeling like if you went after William Shatner, it'd be something like that. Mark Hamill, another one.
Right.
You know.
Bet Harrison Ford could still get down too.
I feel like Harrison Ford would talk a big game, and he would use the intimidation factor.
No, I feel like he just picks something up and hits you and be like, "Told you."
Like I feel like that's grumpy old man fighting.
Right.
Not cunning old man. Like
right.
like Bill Shatner has like weapons stashed throughout his house or something like that.
Probably. Well, he's got Dobermans too. I mean, or at least he used to breed Dobermans, so he's probably just used the dogs. But I think Clint Eastwood would hand you your teeth, man. There's an old man I wouldn't mess with.
I feel like it would be all of a sudden an old timey boxing match.
I think we need to do a whole episode on fighting old men.
A buddy of mine, when I was on the One Morning Show with our buddy Moose, we had the whole thing of
Hi, Moose.
Hey Moose.
I miss you.
It was what do you think Ted Cruz does in his basement?
Oh, Jesus.
And one of the ones I said, those like kung fu like stick things that everybody always practices against?
Yeah.
I said I think Ted Cruz goes down, like takes off the shirt, leaves his slacks and his business, his shoes on, and just wails on this thing, but he does it in a way where he has no idea what he's really doing. He just thinks he's
just slap fighting.
He just slap fighting this thing. I like how we eventually we started with the Jesse and Seth thing.
Right.
We worked our way to the Randy Quaid beard thing.
Right.
The T-shirt. We've talked about Star Trek.
Right.
We dove into Picard. We went back to Drunk Riker, apparently.
Right.
Chekhov. William Shatner could be a son of a bitch to fight. And now Ted Cruz slap fighting a pole.
Right. So, I mean, honestly, this is the kind of rambling that really makes for a quality show.
I know. People are gonna be like, "What the was I listening to?"
And I can just imagine, what do you listen to? Oh, 151. Well, what's it about? Well, it's a good question. I'm not even sure they know what it's about.
Well, sometimes. Yes, we should have stayed on topic tonight.
It's free. That's what it's about.
And on that note, this is 151 The Show. You can find us on 151theshow.com or this station's website.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at 151 The Show. Please like, follow, share, subscribe, rate us. Maybe not this time. Over on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, and all those other things. We're sponsored by Skeleton Wine. You can find out more about them at their website, skeletonwine.com, or on their Facebook page at Skeleton Vineyards. We can't end without a shameless plug.
Cue the music. 5, 6, 7, 8.
And now is the time of the part of the show where we like to shamelessly plug things. We've f***ed around so much tonight that I don't know how this is going to go, quite honest. I'm going to do a shameless plug, and then apparently Justin's going to do a shameless plug, and maybe I'll do another one, and then we'll say, F it, let's go again. So, what shall I shamelessly plug tonight? You okay over there?
I'm great, man.
Okay, so tonight for my shameless plug, I'm actually going to tell you about. I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately. All right, that's like my main source of entertainment now. Whether it's Foresty Forest or Steve Wallace Camping with Steve. Who else have I been watching? Gray Still Plays. Which have you watched those yet?
No, I haven't.
Gray still play. He just plays internet game, or he just plays video games and f***s around with them. Like he made a roller coaster that just goes around in a circle and it has so much G-force it just tears people apart.
Nice.
It's awesome. Anyways, but my actual shameless plug is for an Englishman, believe it or not. Channel is
Sir
called
Patrick Stewart.
No, it's actually not. But he has been doing all the Shakespeare stuff.
Yes,
on all the social media for COVID. But no, my shameless plug tonight is for something called Kent Survival. It's this guy that he's from England, and he just he goes out and he camps by himself and stuff, and he does a lot of bushcraft, and he cooks and he cooks and he cooks. And the one that got me hooked was he did cooking on a flat rock, right? So he's got sausages and bacon and eggs and tomato and beans and what else? He made a goddamn pancake on this flat rock, and then he just sits and eats it. Yeah, it really is. He's just kind of like the I don't want to sound bad, but it's it sounds like he's a little awkward, but he likes doing videos and all this, and he's really entertaining. It's really relaxing. Just watch him do that. Oh, the other one. Oh God, what's his name? It's the chiropractor. I've been watching a lot of those videos. I sent you those.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
The guy that they either say looks like Johnny Sin or Agent 47, or what's the Hitman game? Agent 41 or 47?
Yeah, Agent 47. Yeah. Look. There's only one kind of patient in all of these chiropractic videos, as far as I can tell, and they're all ladies with certain attributes.
Yeah, there it is, and
but hey, man, if you gotta watch chiropractic being done,
I'm trying to find.
I gave you crap about it, but I watched the whole thing, so what does that say about me?
Chiropractic medicine is the other guys, and if you're gonna look at one, and listen, it's a really good one if you know what I mean. Tiny ballerina, massive neck crunch. It's wonderful. Anyway, so yeah, I guess I had like 2 shameless plugs in there for a couple of different channels. Like 5 or 6. Anyways, you got one, Justin?
You know what? I got 2. I'll throw one out for Grunt Style real quick. I love their shirts. This is probably my most favorite one I've ever got from them. which, as you can see, is the Huckleberry shooting range.
Cool.
Familiar with that? Watch Tombstone. Amiel Huckleberry. And the other thing that I've been doing quite a bit of here lately, I'm going to bring it up on my phone real quick. It's an app. And for all you dads out there,
What?
I think you're really going to like it. And by the dads, I mean like the literal, like, oh, that's really loud.
I can't hear what it is.
The app is called It's Literally Just Mowing. And you are mowing a yard.
God,
so
really?
Yes. There are no power-ups. Yeah, you can get different stuff to put on your mower, but it's at the first yard you mow is the same like as the last yard you mow. I mowed like 200 and some yards. It's incredibly relaxing. You have butterflies and birds and stuff that you can discover. And I mean, there is something so therapeutic. I got a
See,
bird
I hate mowing.
and a butterfly. There we go. Got a butterfly. Got a bird. Oh, it's so relaxing. It's so great. It just I like it so much better than mowing outside. But no, it's incredibly relaxing and almost better than meditative.
Haircut Harry is another relaxing one you just reminded me on YouTube. It's a guy that literally just goes around and gets straight edge razor shaves.
Oh, nice. Do love those.
Yeah, it's really. I want to say he's English too, and he doesn't talk during any of it.
Oh, that's the best.
It's just barber noises.
Nice.
So, cool. Any other shameless plugs?
No, I think that'll cover me. I got to save some for next time. But seriously, for anybody who's going above and beyond, like Adam mentioned Patrick Stewart, and I know Josh Gad's doing a bunch of stuff from home. You know, anybody that's going and creating from home and going above and beyond, especially right now,
virtual tours
of Pella and Des Moines and whatnot. Anybody who's going above and beyond right now to kind of put content out there and entertain people who are stuck at home, we applaud you. And I'm not necessarily listing ourselves as those, although Adam did a really good job with those. And I was shocked as anybody else to see him up because he didn't tell me about him. Oh,
sorry. Next time I'll clear that by you next time. Jesus.
But no, seriously, anybody that's going above and beyond to create right now, kudos to you. So you get a shameless plug.
Yeah, sorry, I give a shit about the content we put out and trying to let everybody know that we're still around and not just, like, oh, whatever. Just you, Justin.
Oh, this is my favorite episode of all time. So, on that note, tune in again next time for 151 the show. Maybe Adam will be here, maybe he won't. Expect the quality of the show to go way down. Bye-bye, folks.